and this is week 1. My standards for week 1 are add and subtract unlike denominators, including mixed numbers, by replacing with equivalent fractions in such a way as to produce an equivalent sum or difference of fractions with like denominators. And also, I'm going to add in discussing healthy and harmful eating habits. Goals would be proficiently use math procedures with fractions and understanding that fruit is healthy in moderation. And assessment opportunities are exit slips. And for exit slips, what I would do is let them draw a fraction problem out of the hat and just complete that fraction problem, maybe give them 3 minutes before they leave class. Observation is I would just observe by watching facial expressions and different things that they're doing while I'm instructing them. Worksheets, that would be a way that I would assess them by just watching them work the worksheets and how much help that I would have to give them in doing so. Verbal questioning, I would ask them questions and see if they could respond with the correct answers. Teacher-made test or a quiz, that would be just me testing their knowledge and letting them show what they know. A performance assessment, and that would be getting them into visuals, using visual aids and working together and creating some fraction problems on their own, maybe. Personal communication would be like I would have them come to my desk and we would discuss one-on-one where they stand on understanding fractions and addition and subtraction. This is an example of a performance task that I could do with fractions. And my unit is on fractions. I thought it would be fun to break students into groups and have them construct their own fraction problems using fruit. And I chose an orange. You could also use a lime or any fruit really that's naturally divided on the inside after you peel away. The supplies would be 6 oranges, and I was thinking 2 groups, 3 oranges apiece, and 1 orange would be like a unit, and they're already naturally divided for you. Some have 8 slices, some have more, some have less, so we wouldn't know until we peeled it. And I would need paper towels, a pencil, and paper, and I would have them half the paper folded in half, and they could also, after they break the slices apart, they could use it to build their own fraction problems within their group and work through that. And I'm first going to model this to the students. And they could do things like they can determine how much is left of the orange after taking the portion away in fraction form. And for an example, how much orange or oranges do you have left if you eat 4 slices? And this is a YouTube video I found on that. I like the video. I hope you like it too. I hope that gives you a visual of what my plans are with my students. This is a rubric, and it's based on knowledge, thinking, communication, and application. A 1 would be limited knowledge on the subject. A 2 would be some knowledge on the subject. A 3 would be general knowledge on the subject. And a 4 would be thorough understanding. Thinking. A 1 would be they select and apply the appropriate skills, but they come up with an incomplete or inaccurate solution. A 2 would be select and apply appropriate skills, but problem-solving skills, but it leads to a partially complete and or an incomplete solution, and partially accurate. A 3 would be they select and apply, and it leads to a generally complete and accurate solution. A 4 would be they select and apply the appropriate problem-solving skills that leads to a thorough and accurate solution. And communication, they use mathematical language, notation, and illustrations to show and describe solutions, but they have limited clarity. That would be a 1. And with some clarity would be a 2. And a 3 would be mathematical language, notations, and illustrations to show and describe solutions clearly. And a 4 would be they would use mathematical language, notations, and illustrations to show and describe solutions clearly and precisely. And their application, they would be able to use, for a 1, they would use mathematical procedures that include many errors and or omissions when using a variety of tools, including visuals to represent, compare, and order fractional amounts. A 2 would be mathematical procedures that include some errors and or omissions when using a variety of tools, including visuals to represent, compare, and order fractional amounts. A 3 would be they would use mathematical procedures to include few errors and or omissions when using a variety of tools, including visuals to represent, compare, and order fractional amounts. And a 4 would be uses mathematical procedures that include few, if any, minor errors and or omissions when using a variety of tools, including visuals to represent, compare, and order fractional amounts. This is an example of a quiz I would do within a daily lesson plan with adding fractions and then 2 subtraction problems and then 1 word problem. And this would be a modified test. Excuse me. I would do 2 addition problems and only 1 subtraction. And this is a unit test, and this is based on the entire unit. This would be things that I would like for them to know at the end of the unit. It's multiplying fractions, subtracting fractions, adding with a whole number, different denominators, word problems, and word problems using multiplication of fractions, and adding with whole numbers with like denominators, and subtracting with unlike denominators. And this is my daily lesson plan. So I hope that you enjoyed it.